Hello, I am Umbrenero, and welcome back to Umbrenero's Life. Today's video is Art Piece for My Husband, Part 1. This is Part 1 of the art piece that I made for my husband. So, if you have watched any of his videos, you would see this in the background of his face cam, because this is a piece of art he asked me to make for him, and I said I would. So this video is basically the prep work and getting the base down for this painting because it took a while. And I custom mixed a lot of the colors for this painting, and that's kind of what is seen here, somewhat. But I was trying to get 3 shades of colors that all worked together and fit the vibe for the painting that I was going to be doing. So all the clips in this video are sped up by like 1,000%, because otherwise this part alone would be 2.5 hours long, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep it around the 15-minute mark at the most, so yeah, it was taking time to come up with some of the colors that I was going to use. So I used these little condiment cups to help keep my colors in, so that way if I didn't finish a portion right away, I was able to save the paint I was using and not have to try to remix it completely. That's why I made a large amount of some of these colors, and I am kind of glad I did. But I made a dark, a mid, and a light tone. And I actually have these colors yet, and they are still usable, which is even better because this was filmed, I think, back in January or February. I can't remember. It's been months. But still have that paint, and it's still usable, and that's the positive from this. So I got to my second color. I needed to do a purpley color that wasn't overly purple, but also not too pink. I had to make a very custom shade that I did not have a paint for, and I think I did succeed. And here I actually tried shaking the colors because it was going a lot faster than trying to just paint and hope I was getting the right shades. And it was actually mixing a lot better than using the little stir sticks I had, so just went about shaking them and it worked. If I would have done this now, I have a completely different way of how I would have mixed the colors, and it would have been a lot quicker and a lot easier now with one of the new tools that I have for my crafts. Then the last color that I made, I believe, is my reddish tone that I did. I used up quite a bit of paint that I have had sitting around for a while, and I'm glad I finally used some of it up because it needed to be used. that light color was coming up way too pink for what I wanted. I wanted it to be more of a reddish, corally orange instead of more pink. And I got it to the color I wanted, but it took a bit. And a lot of the times where you see me pulling the little cups off camera, it's because I am trying to shake these very hard without them bursting everywhere and causing a big mess. Before I could start painting, I had to do one more set of colors for this project, and that was my dark, my mid, and my light grays, because I needed that stuff ready, wanted it all prepared before I even started painting, because then I wasn't having to mix up more or mix it up initially during the painting process. So I did a quick little cleanup there, wiped down my area slightly so the wet paint was gone that I accidentally had splattered that you can see there. And I started to level out my canvas using more of those little cups. They work great for this. And I actually still use some of these cups for other projects. But first was to get it level, and then was starting the actual paint process. So, as you can see, I started with the blue. I put the light color in, the mid-tone, and the dark. And I'm painting across all three canvases here, and it starts out okay, and you can see the definite areas, but I wanted it to blend, and things didn't quite go as I had wanted. So things ended up getting a little darker than I planned initially. Because I liked that mid-tone blue a lot more than I liked how light the light blue was. So I tried scraping it off and mixing it together a little more, and I did a lot of over mixing here that I didn't need to do, because then the blue, bottom blue and the mid-tone didn't mix, so there was a lot of finagling to make this all work together. And at this point I said I'm just blending this all together just to make it work, because this was the background. This isn't the focus of this painting. So, as you can see, I was trying to clean brushes as I was going, so that way I could keep reusing the same brushes. And there were times where I had to run out of my office to go physically wash some of them because they got a little too dirty, and it was just easier to run and clean them. Like here, I could have turned off the camera, but I forgot, so that's why that whole little blank clip is there. So now was the purple section, and I was trying this one in a different angle than the blue one. So I'm having to reach over all the blue that I just done and all of that, and this has a lot more of the crease between two canvases here, and it worked for the most part. Just the judgment of how much paint do I actually need was the hardest part here. because here the lighter paint got mixed in with the mid-tone very quickly, and then eventually I just started mixing in the dark tone because it's like, this is the background, it doesn't have to be perfect. I get to be sort of messy with this. And that's where I started pulling the darker towards the center and all of that. A lot of the mid-tone color kind of disappeared here, and I kind of wish it wouldn't have, but that's an afterthought looking at the background right now. So once the brushes were once again clean, it was time to do the next section. But before I did that, I believe I rotated the canvas. Oh, I didn't. Forget what I just said. It's been a while since I have seen how I did this, and I am obviously recording my audio while I was editing, so it is what it is. So with the red portion, I did the same thing that I was doing previously. This time I just mixed the dark color in a lot sooner with that mid-tone, got the light color in, and then came all of the fun blending again, where I got to slightly go crazy with it and just make a mess. This time I didn't lose as much of the mid-tone red as I thought I did. Like, it's still gone, but not as bad as it could have been. Then was doing the green portion of this painting, and I just thought ahead, walked around my work table so I was on the other side. And there, my light green was not fully mixed all the way, so I did what I could, realized I made a mistake with the green right there, and mistakes happen, so I just worked through it and did what I could with what happened. Could I have put down tape in between? Yeah, I could have, but what's the fun in that? And that's it for part 1. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Umbrenero. Bye!